So I'm inside an elevator, making my way up to my apartment on the 20th floor of the Skyline condo in Cambodia. And I am exhausted. I'm tired, I am frustrated, just not in a good place. And as I'm standing there, frustrated, hot, exhausted, just done, the elevator dings and I reach my floor. And I step out. And as I step out, I look to my left because there's another elevator right next door to the elevator I'm at, and somebody else has also walked off on my floor. And I look over and there's this middle-aged lady, short, maybe about a head or two shorter than me, carrying 2 grocery bags. And I look over and I say hello. I try my best to, put a mask on and seem like happy and, friendly and everything. And she says hi, and she starts making her way down the hallway. And I can see as she's walking that she's like struggling with these bags. Like she's a small person. And as I'm watching her kind of like waddle along with these heavy grocery bags and make her way around the corner, I look down on the floor next to me and I see there's another grocery bag that she has left behind. And at first I thought maybe she forgot, but then I saw that like inside this grocery bag were 2 massive containers of multiple water bottles. So clearly she just didn't have the hands and potentially the strength, I don't know. And in that moment, the immediate thought that came to my mind, immediate, followed by this really good sensation, was I should help her. I should pick up that grocery bag and I should take it to her door. And then immediately I realized, oh, well, she's already made it around the corner, so how am I going to ask her if she wants help? And then the thought came again, immediate, without even really thinking, along with this good feeling, this good sensation of I should just take it anyway. I should be kind, I should be friendly, I should be helpful, and just pick up the bag and carry it around the corner and take it to her door. And as I have that feeling, it is very, very quickly replaced with a different thought, and a thought that is accompanied with this not so good feeling. This fear, this guilt, this shame almost. And the thought goes something like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? She's going to think you're stealing her bags. She's going to come around the corner as you're picking up the bag and she's going to think you are stealing her stuff. Even if she doesn't, what if she just doesn't want help? What if you're actually just annoying her and making her feel like she can't, carry the bags herself or something like that? And that voice is really, really convincing. And I feel that sort of fear, that almost dread about doing what I thought would be something really helpful, really kind. And in that moment, I kind of freeze. Because on one hand, I really want to do something kind and helpful and something good. And on the other hand, I have this fear and these really not great thoughts telling me that that's the worst possible idea I could ever have. And I don't know what to do. And time is kind of running out because she's going to be coming back soon to pick up that bag. And I remember that this voice that is connected with fear and these really negative thoughts, I'd actually named that voice before. I'd recognized that this is something that happened often, and that it always seemed to want to hold me down, to keep me back, to keep me small. And because of that, in many situations in the past, I had named it the negative voice. And instead of listening to it, I did something different. And I kind of played out what it would be like had I listened, or if I were to listen to this negative voice. And I imagined myself looking down at the plastic bag, ignoring it, walking past this lady who would most likely be coming out of her apartment at the same time, and making my way to my door, which is maybe like 5 or 6 doors down the corridor of this apartment building. And I imagine myself standing at the door about to go in my apartment, and how I would feel. And what I remember is that I would feel like I had forgone myself, like I had not listened to myself, like I had an opportunity to do something kind and friendly and helpful, and something had convinced me not to. And I know exactly what that would feel like, because it had happened to me so many times in the past, where I'd wanted to be kind or friendly or helpful, but that negative voice had stopped me. And it feels terrible. Feels like I'd like given up on myself. Like I had rejected a very real and true part of me. And that comes with like all sorts of like disappointment and sadness and disheartening feelings, and I was tired of that. I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to feel that way. And as I like snapped out of that imagination, I said, screw it. And I picked up the bag and I started making my way around the corner. And as I make my way around the corner, the lady, maybe like 1 door down or away from me, a couple feet, opens her door, looks at me, and there's just this like surprised expression on her face as she looks at me and then looks down at the bag in my hand. And for a split second, that negative voice came back, and it was like, you see, she thinks you're stealing. Look at her face. But I recognized very quickly afterwards that her face was not like a bad or scared sense of surprise or shock. It was like a happy surprise, like when somebody gives you a gift that you weren't expecting. And she looks at me and she says, thank you, you're so kind. And as she says that, it felt almost as if like when you take a warm drink on a cold day, and that warm liquid just flows through your body and like fills you up and sends the sensation and tingles throughout your body. That's what I felt in that moment. It felt like those words, that look in her eye, that appreciation she was showing, was the warm liquid filling my body. And that warm feeling was one of the most beautiful things I've ever felt in my life. And I said, you're welcome. And I walked a couple doors down to my door. And I'm standing at my door, about to turn the key, and I stop. Because in that moment, I realized, instead of what I had imagined I would feel like standing at my door before, with all this like regret and foregoing of myself and the disheartening feelings that come with that, I was standing there with a massive smile on my face, and with this feeling of like confidence of, I fucking did that. I made that moment happen. That feels right, that feels true, that feels real. And I walk into my door, and my entire day has just flipped on its head, and I'm full of this energy and happiness and joy and appreciation. And since that day, whenever I felt like I want to do something kind or helpful or friendly, I've done it. I've listened to it. I've taken the steps and the actions. And yeah, sometimes, people don't necessarily want or need the help, and then they politely let me know that they don't. But not once, never once, has somebody gotten upset, angry, or assumed the worst when I've done something friendly or helpful. But every single time, without fail, I felt that warm feeling.